morning, everyone. It's Amanda Aguilard. I'm happy to see lots of friendly faces popping in. It looks like people are jumping in, so I'll take just a second and let everyone get settled. So this is a little bit about me. What you really need to know is that I've been using Xero a long time because I love it. I started my practice back in 2012 in New Orleans and picked Xero really early on. So because I was pretty early in that adoption, kind of had to figure my way around. So in doing that, just figured out a lot of things early. It's kind of like the frontier back in 2012 and 13 in the cloud, and use that knowledge to co-found Elephant with Monica. Okay, here's our plan for today. So this summer I wrote a book on Xero. It'll be out in the spring. It's called Xero, A Comprehensive Guide for Accountants and Bookkeepers. And in writing that book, I realized there were pieces of Xero that had either been developed or tremendously improved in the last, let's say, year or 2 years that I didn't really understand. And so I figured if I didn't understand those functions and those modules fully, there were probably a lot of other folks who didn't as well. So I decided we would do this as a webinar. This webinar is going to be almost entirely in Xero. So I just want to give you the slides so you can know where we're going, but then we're going to jump over to Xero and be in Xero for pretty much the whole time. So the first thing we're going to cover is short-term cash flow. This is an in-product dashboard that Xero added recently, and also business snapshot, also another in-product dashboard that Xero has added. So we'll cover those and talk about what makes up the tiles and the pieces and how those can be customized. We're going to talk briefly about custom chart of accounts. So you guys may not have seen it on your side. I think it is still in beta to be released fully soon, but I am going to show you what you're going to be able to see for custom chart of accounts in Xero HQ. Report templates. Report templates is probably one of the biggest time savers in Xero for your practice. So we're going to talk about how to manage that and dive in a little bit deep on some things that may not be as clear. So we're going to talk about some special customization and report templates. And then if we have time at the end, we'll touch just briefly on Budget Manager. Okay, I think everybody, since you guys have been on Xero for a while, for the most part, you should all probably know that Xero does have a demo company available to all users. It is populated with some data, so you can get in and you can play around and then you can reset it. So we use the demo company tons when we're doing training, and I find it's pretty helpful if you want to just test something, especially if you want to test integrations. Using the demo company is pretty useful. So everybody's got access. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that. I'm going to make my screen a little bigger so it's easier for you guys to see. But I do want to just show you guys budget, because I think budget, again, is something that folks maybe don't use and can solve some problems pretty easily. So budget, Xero's Budget Manager it's not really a budgeting tool. It's more a set of static numerical fields that can be used in reports. And I think if you can kind of make peace with that, you'll understand how you can leverage it and use it. Okay, so it is not a dynamic budget tool. It is it only includes income statement line items. So there are some shortcomings for sure. But if we just look at it for what it is a grid, a spreadsheet of text or number values that we can put into Xero and then pull out for report columns. So let's go to Budget Manager. I'll show you this. So Xero gives us a budget. Overall budget is the default. It's an overall budget. You can add additional budgets underneath. These other budgets have nothing. They're not connected in any way to the overall budget. So don't think that if you add budgets for, let's say, departments or different tracking categories, they don't roll up into anything. They are separate data, fields, static, text, that's it. Okay. This overall budget is theoretically the big one, but you can have other budgets for other things. So we can have multiple budgets. We can have a budget for like, this is what we expect our growth to be. We can have aggressive targets, and then those are going to be dropped into columns on the income statement, which I'll show you in a sec. So the way we get numbers into our budget is the fastest way is to export a CSV file here down at the bottom, export it, go fill it in, and then re-import it. Again, it will only show income statement line items. So we can do it that way. If you want to do it manually, God bless you, you can just put your numbers in these fields. You can use this little arrow to apply it across the board or increase it. But again, basically you're just filling out a spreadsheet. So let's save this. I'm going to pull in our aggressive target. So like I this morning went and added some super aggressive revenue targets for the purposes of this. So we're going to save that, and I'll show you how it gets dropped in. In reports, we would run an income statement, right? So we run an income statement, let's say for this month. And we would edit the layout. We would drop in a column for our budget. And then over on the right, we can pick whichever budget we want. Again, we're just picking a data set. We're just picking a set of numbers. So I could pick my aggressive target. I could rename this just whatever I wanted, and then done, and it will compare for us. I'm sorry, it won't compare, it's dropping data in. If I wanted to put another column for a variance, I would just add in a formula column. One thing I want to point out that my friend Jay Kimmelman turned me on to is that for clients for whom we may need comparative monthly balances on the income statement for periods prior to using Xero, we can use the budget tool for this. So imagine you have a client that you are converting to Xero at the first of the year, and you want to get monthly comparatives. So has anybody run across this problem? Xero's conversion balances, you can only compare year end. It doesn't give you the option to add in monthly comparative balances. But if we look at the budget manager as being strictly a text entry format, like we're putting stuff in, we can go in and use these. Now this only works, again, it only works for the income statement, but you can go in and drop in your prior period balances. So let's say that I'm going to start using my Xero for my client in January 2021. I set my conversion balances for December 31, 2020, but I can use the budget tool and go and just put in actuals from the months prior, and then build a report that shows me comparative balances. And I would just have to go and retitle that column. Instead of calling it a budget column, I would call it monthly comparatives, or November comparative. So I thought that was pretty slick. So I have to give credit to Jay for that one. And again, I'm happy to answer any last minute questions. You can reach me at amanda@elephanttraining.com. Okay, I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.